Eggs is a podcast about all things creative, regardless of what that means to you. From the creativity involved in launching a business, building a brand, crafting an entertainment career, or whatever, we talk about the process of growing your egg from start to finish. Today's show is brought to you by Goodside Skateboards. Go to www.goodsideskateboards.com for great deals on decks and awesome t-shirts and pretty much anything you can think of. Well, not quite. Anyways, enter Egg Show, that's EGGSSHOW, when you check out. Get 20% off? Yeah, I think it's 20%. Anyways, Egg Show when you check out to get 20% off at goodsideskateboards.com. Also, don't forget to check out our friends at Deli Fresh Threads. They're a Florida-based clothing company. They specialize in t-shirts and other apparel. And they celebrate what they call the King of Meals, the sandwich. Check out their website, delifreshthreads.com. And make sure you enter Egg Show when you go to check out for 10% off. That's EGGSSHOW. Get 10% off when you check out. All right, delifreshthreads.com.
We gon' make it all happen right here, right now. Calling out to all area crew. We gon' make it all happen right here, right now. Calling out to all area crew. We gon' make it all happen right here, right now. Calling out to all area crew. We gon' make it all happen right here, right now.
Hey everybody, welcome to a happy Thanksgiving edition of Eggs. I'm Ryan, he's Mike, and as aforementioned, it's Eggs.
So we got a special edition Thanksgiving thing going on here. We got Borja in the house. We got Clint and then Ryan and me. And
yeah, for people who listened to the episode last week with our dear friend Anthony, Big E Bencomo over at Deli Fresh Threads, you'll remember Clint.
He got all of 2 words in, I think.
Yeah. Maybe 2. I'll try to double that.
Well, I think he spoke enough. At least we introduced him, I think. So, and then for those of you who've been listening for a little minute, you may remember Borja. We sort of cut him out for a while because we don't really like him.
We had to put him in check.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
I mean, he was doing all right, but we had to be like...
dangerous.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing is, he started to take his Borja factor a little too seriously, so it started to interfere with the show. So we've cut him out.
The budget of this show is not that big, and you can afford me sometimes.
The thing is,
today you have the money. It's okay.
It's a payment by word kind of thing. So if we hold him out every now and then,
every now and then we can have him back.
Yeah.
So anyway, truth be told, we've been doing a lot of interviews lately, and so there hasn't really been time to work in a factor. So Borja, the most prepared of all of us, has got lists and lists of notes. So I'm sure we'll have something hip hop to talk about.
I have a whole.
If we don't, it will be depressing.
All right. Well, let's kick off the fact. So we brought back Borja, and this Thanksgiving is a special one for the young lad. He has been to the United States a couple times before, but he's never been here for Thanksgiving. Thoughts and expectations, I guess.
Before, have you gone into much detail about what Thanksgiving is in the States, other than we just eat a lot? And
honestly, I don't even know if he knows what we're doing.
Do you know what Thanksgiving is?
Do you understand?
What do you think Thanksgiving is?
I think that is like Christmas in Spain, like all the family reunite together.
I could see why you would think that.
Table.
Because they start doing Christmas ads 2 weeks before Thanksgiving now.
Right.
So
yeah, he thought Halloween was Christmas. He was buying everybody gifts, bringing everybody.
The problem is Halloween is Christmas at our house.
Yeah. So anyway, Borja, first Thanksgiving. What do you think? What's going to happen? What do you expect to happen? What do you want to get out of this first time?
I mean, the thing I'm most worried about is just how I'm gonna convince you that I only eat that much. Because it's like a festivity. I only know that you eat turkey, right? That's
the tradition. Yeah. Now, do you guys?
People do eat ham.
Yeah.
And prime rib.
They do
if you
ham.
can afford it.
Yeah. We're poor turkey folk though, so you're gonna get turkey.
Turkey's.
So
turkey's
what
cheap.
do they do? Do you guys eat turkey in Spain? Is turkey a thing over there?
I mean, maybe on some families in Christmas they eat turkey, but usually, I mean, this kind of celebration like Thanksgiving, or we do in what we call Nochebuena, like on the 24th at night in December. It's like all the members of the family together around a table, having dinner. Depending on the family, we eat a lot of seafood, it's like a big meal, like a lot of food and expensive stuff because it's just once a year. So, but turkey in particular, I think that we don't eat like.
Seems like it's not particularly
much.
popular over there. I don't remember ever seeing it any place.
When I was in the Philippines, I wanted a Thanksgiving dinner, and we had native turkeys walking around, like, just like what you would see
Yeah, like hanging around.
Yeah, like hanging out. Like I
yeah.
literally should get a shotgun and just go get a turkey for this.
Studios.
But anyways, there were wild turkeys around, so I thought, hey, let's do turkey dinner for Thanksgiving. So we got a turkey. I killed it, like literally plucked it, did everything I needed to, because you can't really go and buy a frozen turkey in the Philippines. And then we didn't have an oven, so we cooked it over a fire. And it tasted like shit. It was the worst turkey.
Did you do balut, deviled eggs?
No, that would be disgusting. For those of you that don't know what balut is a duck egg that they incubate for like 13 to 14 days. And if you go too long, the beak starts to develop and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah, you definitely got to eat it pre-beak.
You got to get it in there about 10 to 13 days.
Yeah,
and
post-embryo, pre-beak, that's the window.
It kind of tastes like chicken
enough,
soup.
I have seen balut. I wasn't brave enough to try it, but it's a baby chicken.
I ate it.
Duck. Sorry.
Duck.
Twice.
They're feathers, and it was weird.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. So the Thanksgiving
suppose it's
turkey
awesome
in the
for
Philippines.
somebody.
Yeah. So the Thanksgiving turkey in the Philippines didn't work. So did you guys just go dog, or what did you do?
No, we didn't go dog, but
Did you eat dog?
I
while you were
did.
there?
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to. Supposedly, when you eat the dog, they're like, if it's not a good clean dog or whatever, you could get like I think it's scabies. It's
Might
like
be
where your
rabies.
hair falls out and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like that.
Scabies.
Really?
Yeah, you could get. Supposedly, that's what they said. You can get that, but literally, okay. Sidetrack from Thanksgiving. I was walking around, and we went to this family's house that we were visiting, and they had a dog, and they were getting ready to kill it for dinner, and that was the weirdest thing that I've ever It traumatized me.
Like, do they pet their dogs up to the time they eat them?
This dog
Like, do
was
they
on
act as pets at all,
It was
or
on
do
a
they-
leash. It was. I thought it was their family pet. It was a nice dog. I was petting it. It was a cool dog. And then the dude walks up with a Boomba handle. A Boomba is a water pump. And he took the handle off
It's a
the
bat
water
and
pump.
softball.
Pretty much, it's a bat. And he beat this dog over the head. And then he strung it up and burnt the hair off.
Ugh.
Huh?
Yeah, like he didn't even they didn't gut it or
We may
any.
need a disclaimer for this episode.
Yeah, Jesus.
We can edit this out.
We
if
can
it's
add.
getting
No, I
old.
love it. So, but we can add that explicit tag. Hey, we're talking about cultural food.
Some content
I mean,
may
this is
not be appropriate for
right
all
on track
audiences.
for me.
But I literally watched him take this pet, or what I would assume is a pet, beat it to death, string it up, burn the hair off, and make a stew out of it. And it was the weird, when I went to eat it, I took like 2 bites at the most, and most of it was
Couldn't
just
get past the mental battle.
the mental battle. It was like I just couldn't put one, and whatever. It was weird. So moving on.
Yeah, no. So on a further derailment, so what is the word, or do you know the word they use for bark in the Philippines? Like, to describe the sound a dog makes.
Don't
you know?
know. No, the word for dog in Waray was aso.
Yeah, no. I always just wonder because I didn't even realize there was such a thing, that there could be more than one word for like wolf or bark.
Okay.
But in Spain, for example, in Spanish they say wow,
Wow.
and so
I could see that.
yeah, but it's
Wow,
like
wow, wow.
That's a lot.
G-U-A-U,
There you go.
wow.
Perro.
And so, but it's kind of a funny thing, right? Because my whole life it's wolf or bark or whatever. But then I saw it in Spanish and it's wow, and I was like, whoa. But it didn't occur to me that there could be different ones.
Yeah.
And so, Anyway,
That's crazy.
yeah, crazy
I never
derailment
thought about that.
on dog sounds, eating dogs.
So back to
And now back to
Thanksgiving dinner.
No dogs will be served, or harmed in the making of our dinner.
We're
Yeah.
gonna go back to poultry.
Yeah.
Yep, we're gonna do
Where you
some,
can buy a frozen turkey and just take care of it,
Yep.
not have to kill it.
Yeah, we're gonna do not wild turkey and some wild turkey probably.
But we are gonna eat a lot, right?
Yeah.
No,
And
don't
drink.
worry, Borja. We'll take care of that.
Thank you.
So that's the expectation, though. Is big meal. So anything else that you had hoped to get out of your first Thanksgiving? Just to
What
make sure
about
we check all the
drinking?
boxes.
Do you drink and
No,
Thanksgiving?
just water.
Just
Yeah.
water.
No.
Yeah, it's a holy day.
No, Borja. There will be plenty of
I
drinking.
should make some cider and bring.
Oh, yeah, you should.
apple pie.
Yes.
Oh, and cheesecake or just apple pie?
No.
No.
Apple pie is booze. Apple pie moonshine.
Oh,
Um,
so much to learn.
I've
so
heard
little time.
something about cheesecake today, and
Yeah.
I am like excited about
Yeah,
it.
maybe
Oh,
the
yeah.
maybe
There's going
this
to be
is,
lots of new things for you to experience.
Yeah, I mean maybe
I
it's sacrilege, but I'm not big on the pumpkin pie.
hope.
Oh, that is sacrilege.
Get out.
Yeah, pumpkin's kind of not my thing. So
It's
my
nobody's thing until October.
Think-
yeah,
Thanksgiving, then
so
it's
my
fine.
wife and everybody caters to my eccentricity, I guess, and makes me a cheesecake. So because I like the cheesecake.
So I
So-
expect
That's
to,
so not
Not even a
Thanksgiving.
pumpkin
That's
cheesecake,
not even
just a cheesecake.
Okay.
Dude, the pumpkin cheesecake is actually pretty amazing.
I've never
Right?
had one.
Oh,
Yeah,
Costco right now.
Yeah, I've had it at
Good to know.
at like the Cheesecake Factory and stuff before, and it's not bad. I'm
It's
not a big
pretty
pumpkin
good.
fan, but I don't mind the pumpkin cheesecake. It's
Put a
pretty
little
solid.
chocolate drizzle on it. Game on.
Can we just do this now and then
Yeah, let's
do it
just
again
pause this
tomorrow?
and we'll regroup tomorrow after Thanksgiving. So, but anyway, so while we're talking about Thanksgiving and getting through, Borja's very short list of expectations,
and I have to say something like I'm grateful for my
Yeah.
podcast.
We're not so
team or
traditional.
something like that.
Sometimes we'll do that. It's
Yeah.
a good thing to remember.
yeah, I mean that's I guess the point.
Yeah,
It
because
is-
when
it
we
is the
teach
point.
the kids.
Oh, I
like,
thought it was something about Native
I thought it was just
Americans,
about
but-
food.
Yeah,
when
That's,
we teach the
that's
kids.
the other 364 days.
Yeah, in the school, we teach the kids English, not because when we teach them Spanish, we teach about Spanish culture, but we teach in English, we teach them like their Thanksgiving is like a perfect time to say thank you for whatever you want, whatever you have.
I think it's just because the holiday's called Thanksgiving. People go, oh, I guess we give thanks.
Well,
that's kind of it.
wasn't
and we're gonna watch football, right?
Well, yeah, of course.
Sounds amazing.
That's a pretty big part of
It's
it.
gonna be the best day ever.
like my elementary school learning of pilgrims and Thanksgiving and everything. Wasn't there an actual Thanksgiving dinner to start
Yes.
this all off?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't imagine
There
it went
was
the
a
way it's
feast.
written.
They
but
learned
yeah,
how
there
to
was a
pop
feast.
popcorn.
Yeah, yeah. I think the Pilgrims hung out with the Native Americans and had a fine meal,
And
and
a
we celebrate
cornucopia
it
of
to this
stuff.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that seems like all the kids' books I've read. So, so anyway, but with that said, and this is a little impromptu jam, so I don't know if anybody's got anything, but Thanksgiving stories, memories, thoughts. I mean, just
Well, I've already
not to get
shared
too
mine.
sentimental, but you know,
know.
let's talk a little Thanksgiving.
I don't know if I can top a dog.
Well, that wasn't Thanksgiving. The turkey was the Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't very good.
So, Clint, anything? No fun
No,
Thanksgiving memories?
Nothing I can remember. Just, lots of food, family, fun. It's a great day to sit and relax and enjoy the people you're around, to be honest.
That's pretty much what it
kinda
is.
what it's about.
Yeah. No drunk uncles that you had to deal with down there.
No, I
Inappropriate action. Hashtag me too.
Maybe I wish I had more of that to talk about. I don't know.
Well, it definitely make better podcast fodder.
Right.
So anyway, all right. Well, maybe we'll circle around if anybody has any ideas. But
Well,
let's.
Ryan's having a brain fart. He
Yeah,
had one earlier and
I
can't
had
think of it.
I had a bullet on our list here. It says Thanksgiving stories and memories. Ugh, I had one I forgot. So that's how
So
good my
becomes-
notes are.
Yeah.
And so maybe we'll circle back around. I
So-
can't be expected to remember things.
I guess you're doing a diet right now.
Yeah. So we had talked about, I think off the air. I don't think it ever made it to the air, but Mike and I had talked a little bit, and he's doing a little better on the weight loss thing, so he doesn't need it as much as I do.
Actually, I'm up like 7 pounds.
Good.
Yeah.
And so,
So it sounds like you found some of that stuff you
Well,
lost.
I've been eating like good. Like I made a chicken dinner with potatoes and all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff at his house the other day.
well,
but,
so my
yeah.
thought is in an effort to kind of keep myself accountable, I thought it might be fun to sort of talk a little bit about what I'm doing, how it's working, the progress, and then if I don't talk about it next week, we'll know that I bailed. So, but I thought it might be a good way to kind of keep this going. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Insider information. We already have next week recorded, so I won't talk about it. But I will maybe in the next episode bring it up. So anyway, but I thought maybe I'll try and do it on social media, some things like that. See if anybody wants to join in and maybe make a thing of it.
Joe Rogan did the Sober October the other month, and that was a lot. That was pretty funny.
In fact,
actually.
I think they've got Bert Kreischer. I think is running his marathon this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So anyway, that'll be good.
I need to go and check that out.
So yeah, everybody root for Bert. He's one of my favorite people.
Dude, that guy is crazy.
Yeah, I love him so much.
Have you heard his Russian bit?
Yeah, it's my favorite. If you haven't heard it, it's called The Machine Story by Bert Kreischer. Go check it out. You'll thank us later.
Yeah.
And send us an email or a tweet or something. Let us know you did it. And tell him you heard about him here, because Kreischer is among, like I said, he's among my favorite comedians, but he's just super funny guy. I can't not laugh when I hear him laughing. It's ridiculous. So anyway, but so what I'm doing is I've been following this lady and her husband on LinkedIn for, God, I don't know, a couple of years. And every, maybe 2-3 times a week, these people have published an image of, some formerly fat guy in his now thin alter ego. And or thin-ish, like realistic thin. He's not like now shredded with a 6-pack, but he's dropped a few. And so anyway, I was feeling sort of desperate. For people who don't know, the body behind the sultry sounds here is gotten a little flabby and out of shape in the last few years. And so
you're doing pretty good there about a year ago.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, before we went to Spain in the summer, I guess it wasn't this last summer, but the previous, I'd lost about 50 pounds, but now I've put on 60. So it's, so it's all back and a little change. So
Man's not
anyway,
hot.
so that's not,
It's really not.
man's still kind of hot for a fat guy. I'm not to toot my own horn, but come on. And so I see how you look at me. And so anyway, I was feeling desperate one of these days, like a lot of us fat dudes do, and saw this thing pop up on LinkedIn, and I was like, what, screw it, I'm going to reach out to this lady, see if she, what she does. Her name's Heather Shaw, and I was looking out for, fitness coaching, or not, more like nutrition coaching, things like that. For me, the big problem has always been portion control, and but like basically, I've gotten heavy enough that, like exercise hurts. And when I go work out, like my knees are jacked for a couple days and stuff.
What do you do to work out?
Like ellipticals and shit like that. It's nothing crazy. It's just when you're carrying enough extra weight, it's just hard on the knees, know?
I get shin splints really bad.
So I'm heavy. I'm down, I'll say a report that I'm already down 20 pounds on this thing in about 9 days.
Nice. So it's working.
And so it's going well. And I'm pleased with the results, but it's,
what he's not telling you is he was sick for a week.
Well, yeah, and I was sick there and there sometime. Well, because my nutrition coach, Sam, Heather Shaw's husband, explained to me that most his male people, experience somewhere between 15 and 20 pounds a month. And I'm down 20 in 9 days. So
That's
I
awesome.
think the cold may have a little bit to do with it, or the like death flu that I had
Right.
earlier this week. But whatever, I'll take the numbers however they come.
But you're gonna cheat on Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, I am going to cheat on Thanksgiving, and Sam,
Down
my coach,
20,
has
up
given
10.
Yeah. Well, my coach Sam has
10.
given me a good perspective on how to manage these days. We actually had a meal the other night with some friends, a thing we do every year called Friendsgiving, where we get together.
Thanks for the invite, bro.
Yeah, they're not. It wasn't our party, and so if it was our party, I'd have invited you. But although we took Warha.
Yes, thank you.
see how
I
it
really
goes.
enjoyed that.
Well, you didn't come. But anyway, so we went to this event, right? And the whole thing is they get together, they have some drinks, they make a great meal, all this stuff, and just sort of socialize. And we only know a few people at the party, but it's a lot of fun to go meet these folks and hang out. And so, I knew that was going to be a cheat day. And traditionally speaking, when I've cheated or I've gotten off whatever diet I'm on or whatever thing I'm trying to work through, I've sort of been like an all or nothing guy, right? Like it's either game on or game off. And so when I'm good and I'm in diet mode, I'm great. But as soon as I break it, whatever, it's done. I'm out the window. I'm on my own again. And so I've always kind of beat myself up mentally about cheating and having bad days. And
So
stuff
you
like
have
that.
to be all or nothing kind of thing.
Yeah, it's always been that way with me. Like I remember one year I got real gung ho about the gym, and I went 6 days a week for 10 weeks, and then I came down to Arizona for a concert that you and I were doing.
Sorry, bro.
And but then I came back and I literally never went back to the gym. Like it was just done. Like I had the best habit ever for 10 weeks. And then, just breaking it that like few days, whatever it was enough to just knock me off the routine.
Isn't it weird how when you are doing it, it's like you feel great. Like you hate life when you're at the gym, but when you're out of the gym doing your thing, you just feel like you got a bunch more energy. You got, I did something similar for like 4 weeks straight. I went and did the elliptical every day for like 4 or 5 weeks. I felt great. It was awesome. And then same kind of thing. I went on a trip,
just
came
break it
back
and
and
then-
stopped and never get back into it. I have a gym membership that I literally use for a shower when I'm on the road.
Yeah.
And I have one, like, there's one in town, so I could go and use it whenever I want, but I never do.
Yeah.
Just because
Well, it's hard to get in that habit and hard to make it sort of a lifestyle.
I have the same problem, like
Says this skinny fucker.
a mental strength.
Yeah.
Like I cannot keep up doing the gym stuff. Like actually, we have a gym
Yeah, we have a gym where we live, like in the complex.
and I've been going to the gym for maybe 10 days, not 10 weeks. I mean, 10 weeks. That's like, but for 10 days. And my favorite machine in that gym is like the vending machine with the drinks.
Yeah.
Like the Powerade machine. So that's my favorite. So then I
it's the
decided to
vending
quit.
machine. You put quarters in and you get a drink. That's my favorite machine in the gym.
The
It's a
best
vending
machine.
Now I'm working out
That's
playing
awesome.
FIFA.
Yeah, we're playing a lot of FIFA 18 right now, so we're getting
Well,
in shape.
one thing I've tried to do, just because I do try to stay physically fit to an extent, is I physical labor. Like instead of going to the gym, I build a rock wall.
Yeah, which by the way we got to talk about. I think it's done,
Oh,
or more or less done.
97%.
So anyway, let me just kind of circle back around. And I'll finish this up. So sort of the impetus, or what was making me feel fat and depressed, is I was having problems with my knee. Like I would just be walking along and it would pop.
Is
And
it still
just,
giving you a shit?
I'm just down these 20 pounds and I don't feel shit anymore.
Nice.
It feels great.
Nice.
And
amazing what 20
and-
will do.
Well, I mean, when you think about
Well-
what 20 pounds is, right? Think about like a
Yeah.
20-pound turkey or something, right?
Yeah,
It's-
and
it's such a
carry
talking
that around
Thanksgiving.
everywhere.
Yeah, and you're just wearing that as
Yeah.
an extra thing you're carrying
All
around.
the time.
And so even just losing a little bit of weight off the top, I'm coming down from like 300 pounds, and people carry 300 pounds differently. Like my max was 306 pounds when I started this, and some 306 pound people would be as big as this room.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's
You know.
me. If I had 300 pounds, I was at 2 when I started dieting like 2 years ago. I was just under 240, and I'm at like 195 right now. But at 240, I looked like a fat dude. Like I was bloated. My face was round instead of, you couldn't see any defined
Yeah,
features.
it's funny how much differently people carry their weight. Because
Yeah.
I mean, when I tell people how heavy I am, they're like, "Jesus,
Well,
really?"
you got like a foot and a half on me, so that's
Yeah.
a big difference.
Well,
but-
I mean, that's part of it. And I mean, I'm just compact. My kids are the same way. We're all just dense, you
Yeah.
know, and so that's how I carry my weight. Anyway, but yeah, so coming from 306 to now I'm at 291 today. And I mean,
what's your goal and when do you want to be there?
well, I had said about 220, but according to this coach, he's like, dude, when you start getting around 220, like your body's going to change. You're going to be a different person.
Yeah.
He's like, you're used to the big bones excuse and the you're just a big guy excuse and stuff. But he's like, your body's going to transform a little bit. And you may find that maybe 180 is a better fit or 190 or whatever, And so,
That's
I mean,
a lot of weight.
like I said, I'm a foot taller than Mike. Well, no, not that much, but I mean, I'm a little taller than Mike. And so if he's 180, 190 now, for me to be 180, 190 would be a pretty significant loss. That's a lot of weight. And,
Yeah.
and I,
Yeah.
in my mind, that seems very skinny, like kind of sick to me. And,
So for me, like supposedly according to my height, weight kind of thing, I should be like at 165.
yeah, and I
And
think,
that is just out. Like I've never been in high school. I wasn't even 165.
yeah, and that's the thing is I think the charts say I'm supposed to be about 180. And, but that doesn't seem realistic for me just given my build and size. And, I mean, I'm like a puppy, right? With the huge joints and the big hands and stuff, it's like, I just haven't quite grown into me yet.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so long story short, because I'm kind of rambling a little bit, I was feeling this pain, I was feeling this depression and all this bummed outedness. about being a fat fuck. And so I got on LinkedIn. I saw this person's picture, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to reach out. So I shot him a note, and I guess Heather was really busy. So Sam, her husband, hit me back up, and he's like, hey, man, let's get on the phone. Let's talk about it. And so I started talking to him about the plan, and and I got to admit, so I come from Utah, capital of the MLMs. Multi-level marketing for people who are not on
You turn left, you hit an MLM. You turn right, you hit an MLM, and go straight, you hit the church.
They are rampant. And so Sam, he's a fitness coach and a wellness coach, but the program he works with is this thing called Optavia or something like that. And basically, it's a food program. And when he first said food and stuff like that, I was like, oh shit, this is one of those. I was like,
here we go.
Yeah, I was like, I just knew it. It's going to be a monthly subscription.
Is there a
Then
subscription?
I'm going to have to sell something.
He's going to want me selling it.
You got to tell your friends.
Yeah, as soon as I lose
Sorry, Ron, I'm out.
yeah, as soon as I lose some weight, I'm going to be a coach now.
If you can just get 30 people under you, the bars are free.
Yeah, right. Well, and that's the thing. So maybe the program works this way. I don't know. And so, but I did have to prepay and buy some food. But the way this program works is basically it's a 5-in-1 to begin with. And so I do 5 of these little Optavia. They look like protein bars or whatever. But they have all kinds of foods. They have some pastas and potatoes and all kinds of shit. But I like the bars. And actually for me, I'm one of these guys that'll work through lunch and stuff like that. So a lot of times I don't eat. So this system, basically every 2 hours I have one of these bars. And it's been kind of a snap. It's really easy for me to do because I can just lean over, grab it, eat it, and move on. I don't have to stop and go to lunch and make a whole thing out of it. So for my lifestyle and for the way I work, it's perfect, actually. And so I'm eating these bars, and I do 5 of those a day. So I'll do the way my schedule works. So I do them every 2 or 3 hours from about 7:30 on in the morning. And then I have a meal. They call it their lean and green, which I hate. I wish they just call it dinner. I hate it when people get too crafty with stuff. But the lean and green is basically just, it's a clean meal. It's chicken and veggies or whatever. It's nothing complicated. It's just a simple meal. And I have to.
Do you get a decent sized meal since you've had bars the whole day? Or
just wait.
Yeah. So like with,
I get a cup of lettuce.
It depends on the protein,
chicken thigh,
right?
And that's it.
Well, it depends on the protein. So, like with a steak, I get less because it's I guess I don't know why, because
it's bad
steakier.
for you.
It's bad for me, and so I only get 5 ounces of steak. Which surprisingly, if you weigh out 5 ounces of steak, it's more than you think it is.
It's a pretty decent size.
And it's not bad.
You go to a restaurant, that's about what they serve you.
I can get 6 ounces of chicken, or I can have like 7 or 8 ounces of like fish. And so, really, I've not found myself being hungry at all. Like, I feel very satiated. Now, for me, like I said, my biggest problem is portion control. So when I'm having 6 ounces of steak versus that 12-ounce steak I used to eat, it's a difference. So it takes a little bit of a mental battle to realize I'm not hungry anymore. Right. But I'm never hungry now.
Well, the trick is once your stomach kind of shrinks after the first couple days, when you eat a big meal, it seems like too much almost.
Yeah.
I know exactly how you feel right now. I believe there's a midget trapped in my stomach. If I could get him out of there, I believe portion control would not be a problem.
Yeah, they're called little people.
Yeah.
And so
politically correct.
That's right. This is a family show.
I apologize to anyone I may have offended.
Anyways,
so anyhow, but in summation, I'm new to the program. I'm only 9 days in, so it's not like we're I don't have a ton of track record or anything like that. But obviously, weight's been a struggle for me. I've been a heavy guy my whole life. It's always been passed off as just being a big guy. I'm 6'2", and I played football and all that shit, so I was a big guy. But there's now I'm getting older, 37 now. I've got to try and keep an eye on my health a little bit. I don't want to be dead at 47 like my dad was. And, I want to try and be there, stick around for my kids, or at least, for my next wife or, whomever. So, you never know who's going to need me down the road. Yeah. So I've got to be prepared for that.
The struggle is for the ones who live with him, because I miss pizza, I miss Subway. Come on.
Yeah, life was better before this.
You had a month of just like bliss of anything you wanted. Now it's like, damn.
Well, that's the thing, because normally we eat out a lot, right? Yeah. So we're always bringing stuff home and stuff like that. But now it's like all home cooking.
It's been a while.
So it is good, and it's good for everybody. And I think
do you enjoy the fact that it's home cooked meals now? And you're, I'm sure.
Yeah. For me, I mean, because I've got kids too. I mean, the kids need healthier food, I mean, and granted, now when we eat out, we don't eat McDonald's, I mean, we eat good and we go to good restaurants and we eat good food. But it's still, it's processed foods. It's made in a restaurant. It's different, and like a good, clean, home cooked meal is, pretty bee's knees. So anyway, I will sort of keep you posted as we go throughout this journey, and I mean, maybe it works for you, maybe not. I don't know. So far, it seems to be working for me. I might be bitching here in a couple weeks, so we'll see how it goes.
So okay, let's define the parameters here.
Yeah. So I don't really have. I mean, it's not really, unless you want it to be. I don't have plans to make this like a challenge, right? Like we're not losing weight collectively as a group, or
I'll do it
or
with
whatever.
you.
But we can.
I have
The only trick with this thing is that it's. I mean, if we're going to go apples to apples, people would have to be on this Optavia thing, and I don't think that's necessary to lose weight. I mean, it's just the method I'm using because these candy bars are convenient for me. But if everybody wants to get on board besides Borja, but we're just keeping him out because he's Spanish.
Well, that and he doesn't have anything to lose.
Well, because he has nothing to lose. Yeah.
That's true.
Man, I could.
Yeah.
I could.
Maybe
So-
we could, what we lose, he could find.
There we go.
He has to get fat for everything we lose.
Actually, yeah, I'm
He's like, I'm down with that. I like pizza.
Well, I was going to say, are you up at all? Every other Spanish intern we've had put on a little weight.
Yeah, I
since
don't
I've been
know.
here.
I don't care about that much. But my girlfriend says that I am super hot.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Maybe
That's
I-
not hot.
You're good
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
Rellenito. So this is my impression on Spanish food and sort of what they eat over there. Okay, now they do eat better, but I think a lot of it, by and large, is just they're eating more natural. There's no genetically modified foods in Spain and Europe in general. And so there's no GMOs, so we're not eating genetically modified food. And they're eating stuff that I think the life from sort of farm to table is much shorter.
Yeah.
Here in the States, we bring food in from everywhere. If something's out of season in Spain, you just don't get it.
Yeah, and a lot of frozen food.
Yeah, not a lot of frozen stuff. Everything's fresh. You go to the market, you grab it, you eat it. Same with seafood and meats and all that stuff. And I think just sort of that purity of life cycle in food, I think, is part of what makes it better. They definitely eat more fish. They eat more things like that. So I mean,
That's one thing I really miss from the
You don't eat
Philippines.
fish at
Fish,
all.
good. Tilapia, just
Yeah, and so I mean that's definitely part of having a leaner diet like they do over there. And but like I mean when I'm over there, they don't seem to eat all that much different than us. I mean they're having regular meals and stuff.
And in restaurants, portions are smaller in Spain.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, restaurant portions are smaller, but what's interesting, like at the sort of the midday meal, comida, they do a massive meal.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, that's like their big meal for the day, right? But it might be 3 courses, and then like a little postres after, and a little coffee, and a little, I mean, it's like 5 courses by the time you're done with it.
Oh yeah.
And so, so they eat this massive meal. So it's not that they're just eating less all the time.
Well, I saw an article the other day that it was talking about how if you fast most of the day and eat a big meal before you go to bed, it's better for you.
Well, and that's more the way they do it in Spain is they eat a little later. But then like so for example, they eat their big meal around 3ish, 2-3.
Yeah, too.
And then they'll eat again. They'll have another meal at like 9-10 o'clock at night.
Oh yeah.
And but it's usually pretty light. It might be some fish and some veggies and a little fruit or something. Like it's not as heavy. But it sort of gets you through the night, like you're not hungry in the morning because you ate something before you went to bed.
Yeah, and breakfast is light. It's just
Yeah, it's usually a little
coffee.
pan con tomate or some bread and olive oil or something,
Yeah,
and
toast.
kind of a basic
Cookies.
meal, a little cereal
with
maybe.
milk. Yeah, and it's not the same like when my mom or my girlfriend when they cook. It's much healthier than when I do. When I cook, it's like pasta. Maybe I can eat pasta for 7 days in a week. Yeah, but the other day, for example, my girlfriend was here and she cooked some Spanish food for them.
Borja's. We've talked about it before, but Borja's girlfriend is here on a similar exchange or on the same exchange program.
But she's in Seattle.
Stationed in Seattle, but she came down last week. We got to meet her for the first time. She came down and stayed for a couple days with us, and her and a couple other Spanish girls that had come with her.
They came with?
Yeah. Did all 3 were from there? Yeah.
Yeah, in Seattle.
But they treated us to just awesome Spanish meal, really traditional sort of Spanish salad.
We ate a lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
tortilla, Spanish tortilla, for people that don't know, is like a big egg omelet, basically.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Croquetas.
Croquetas, which is one of my favorites. And,
No translation for that, right?
yeah, no, croquetas, croqueta. We don't have them here. And but it's basically kind of like fried dough or something. I mean, I don't know how better to describe it, but they're like crunchy on the outside, creamy on the inside. But they make them with meats and all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
but we ate a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes in Spain for dinner we eat a lot. Like, I mean, if we have the chance, like enjoy some good Spanish tortilla or some croquetas. That's not frequent. Like, but if we have the opportunity, of course. I mean, on the weekends we eat more on the weekends. That during the week
Yeah.
is like.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll sit down and figure out sort of some parameters for a weight loss challenge, because obviously, like, I've got way more weight to lose than Mike, for example.
Yeah, for me,
So-
the hardest
Me
part.
and you are about the same.
Yeah, Clint and I are pretty
Yeah.
similar in size and build.
So I've been sitting at like 190 for, I don't know, the last year. And my goal was 185, and that 5 pounds is harder than
Well, and that
any
may be
other
the
5.
thing. So for you, it might be just 5 pounds lost just to get to your goal.
I'll
that might be
set
an
my
ass
goal
kicker,
for
you know?
180 because I haven't been able to hit 185, and it's going to put me back into I have to eat more healthy, because right now I've just been in maintaining mode.
Right.
So I'll eat like a bad
So you may be
meal.
able to
and
get
then-
down a little bit
so
still.
if I focus again, maybe I can get back down to 180, and then you guys can set your own thing. But I'll set 180 as my goal.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I'll
Is
put
Clint on the diet too?
not yet.
I have 2 more drinks.
let me finish.
No,
let me finish your
We
beer.
We have 4 more in the fridge, and
Oh,
then
boy.
you can start.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This
Diet after
ep-
podcast.
Yeah, this episode brought to you by Corona.
You have to tell Clint that if he's on a diet, he cannot drink beer.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't
It's-
start for
What
a couple
about
days. so-
light beer?
It doesn't start until after Thanksgiving.
Well,
because
and
if
really-
you start a diet before, that's pointless.
Well, and what we'll do is we'll figure out
It
sort of
wouldn't work.
we'll figure out some parameters that sort of work with life, right? Like, because I know I'm going to eat a lot
Yeah.
around Christmas. I know I'm going to eat, there'll be a few things that'll be setbacks for me, and as long as I'm doing good the rest of the time, I'm good. But so we'll come up with some set of parameters, and we'll either talk about it on the next show or we'll put them on the website or something. We'll figure it out. So Mike's already vouching for 180 pounds. That's his plan. But Clint and I will discuss off air what we want to do, and we'll figure out how to put together sort of a challenge, and then we'll try and document a little bit what we're doing and what we're finding success with and not, and we'll go from there.
Cool. So Borja,
Ooh,
you went to a I know we're in Pocatello, and the window's open because it's warm in this room, so we get a nice ambient train sound.
I thought it was kind of an intro for my.
Yeah,
The
that's the new
Borja
Borja
Yeah,
factor.
we'll
tease.
use the train sample to start
my
for
factor,
Borja.
yeah.
Not the Trump train.
That's how you
it's
know.
the Borja.
That's Borja
train.
coming in. Toot toot.
Yeah.
So you went to a concert the other day.
Or did
And
you?
I went.
Who
I
did
went
you
to
go
the
see?
venue. I went to the venue, not to the concert.
Yeah. So this is a funny story, right? So Borja and I, we're gonna go see Young Thug, and Borja is really excited about the Young Thug show because he, these kinds of groups don't come around too often in Spain, and so it's kind of hard to catch these groups. And as you all know, Borja is quite the hip hop aficionado.
Hip hop head.
Hip hop head. And so he is really stoked for Young Thug. So about a month ago, we bought tickets for the Young Thug show. Actually, Borja treated me to a ticket.
I am with pleasure.
Yeah, and so the week the Borja's girlfriend came into town, which was 2 weeks ago now, she arrived to find a sick and dying Borja who had contracted what we can only assume is the Spanish flu, and he was deathly ill, like fever, feeling just awful. Everything was falling apart. He was just dying, and so he was trying to recover and trying to move on with his life. And his girlfriend Elda came, and he hadn't seen her for a couple months, and of course the whole time she was here he was sick.
Yeah, and I spent 2 days.
Yeah, he spent 2 days with her in a hotel, sleeping in a hotel.
In a motel.
yeah, physically in a motel, but mentally in covers and doing nothing, not taking advantage of the situation. And so Borja, got feeling better. Thank goodness. He weathered the storm and is feeling better. And however, he was kind enough to pass that disease along to me. And so earlier this week, I was deathly ill, crazy fevers, all this kind of stuff, just a nasty flu. And here comes the day of the Young Thug show. So on, I think it was the 15th. Is that right? And so Young Thug was supposed to play Salt Lake 15th. And I told Borja, I was just like, dude, I'm dead. I was like, try and find somebody to take my ticket and see what you can do.
At first, I thought that you were pretending because I know you really like this pop music, like Mo, for example.
That's right. That's right.
Like your soft side. And
I'm kind of a
instead
chick
of
on the
these
inside.
Kind of thugs and gangsters.
Yeah. So Young Thug's a little heavy for me, but and so anyway, so I told him, I was like, man, I'm dead on my feet. I had already canceled recording the show, the podcast with Mike. I was like, dude, I'm dead. I can't do anything. And so Borja canceled or was able to find a friend to go with. That friend, of course, lived 45 minutes away from our house.
And there was an accident on the freeway, so it took me like 1 hour to go to Syracuse to pick my friend up.
And then go from there.
And then this was out at the Great Saltaire. And so for people that don't know the Saltaire, the Saltaire is maybe 20 minutes outside of Salt Lake.
Yeah, that's a drive.
Out in the middle of the desert. So not only did Borja have to drive an hour to pick up his buddy, drive an hour and 20 minutes back out to the venue. Then, theoretically, after the show, they would drive back to Syracuse, so another hour and a half.
Yeah, when I thought I was almost in Alaska, because, come on, I was driving, like, where is this venue?
Yeah, of course, because it really is out in the middle of nowhere. It's out in the middle of the desert. And
well, that's the best part about that venue, because they can literally do, like, raves and outdoor parties all night long.
Yeah, it's really a cool spot. And if you ever have the chance to go to a show at the Saltaire, it's really cool.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, so Borja arrives, and after all this rigmarole... And I mean, I guess I could let him speak because I've been kind of
because
rapping.
you said it is a cool venue, but actually, I don't know, because when I arrived, it was dark. I mean, no lights at all.
You
Nobody
had to park
was
out
there
on the street. No one there.
No one there. And I say, my friend was like, "Oh, are you sure that today is the concert?" And I say, "Yeah, come on, I'm sure that is here." I say, "But nobody's here." And I was so excited. I didn't want to believe that the concert was not going to happen. And I say, oh, maybe they are inside already.
and I mean, the Saltaire's is surrounded by kind of a big parking lot. Like, I mean, Mike's been out there with me before.
We've had to park on the street
they can fit several hundred cars in there. So Borja's in the middle of this parking lot alone. Assuming everyone's just inside, enjoying the show while he's out in the parking lot alone.
Yeah, maybe the parking lot was close to us because the concert was at 7 and it was 7 already. We were kind of late, but we knew the concert was not going to start at 7, of course. I mean,
right. So, but wasn't there was somebody else showed up, right?
And we found out a car, and in that car there were a couple inside. There was a couple inside, and they told us, "Hey, you don't know what? We don't know what." I mean, the concert was just rescheduled for the December 20th, right? And say, what? I have no idea about that. No, they send you an email and like an email. Oh, they sent the email to Ryan, but
But I was so sick I hadn't checked my email.
That sucks.
So I didn't know. Now, so two things on this.
Thank you, Ryan.
So first of all, all right. So random couple that shows up in the parking lot who knows the show's canceled. Why are they there?
Yeah,
that's just
they told their parents they were going to a concert, and you interrupted their makeout session.
Yeah, right. That was some prime necking time out there in that dark parking lot.
But on your defense, we have to say that they sent that email at noon.
Yeah, well, and that's my second point.
Same day. That is pretty.
So they sent the email at like 12:45 the day of. And I mean, okay, now maybe this is the artist's fault, maybe it's the venue's fault. I don't know whose fault. I suspect it's the artist because the artist is coming back at the end of. He's doing our show at the end of December,
and Lil Pump is coming too.
Yeah, and now this dude Lil Pump is coming, and so but he's also doing a New Year's show in Colorado. So I suggest he canceled this one so he could come a little closer to New Year's and then go to
double
Colorado.
up instead of fly out
because
twice.
Migos are coming too.
Yeah, because now Migos is coming and playing in Salt Lake, and so anyway, so I think there's some fuckery afoot. But anyway, it was super obnoxious. I feel super bad for Borja because he had to do this whole journey alone because I was sick but anyway, we will report on the Young Thug show in the
December. Same week. I was sick with my girlfriend here. I was sick for 2 days with my.
So you are the cause of you.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes,
yeah.
I'm the
He's passing the Spanish
yeah.
flu around our house.
That kiss I gave you, remember?
It is the plague.
So yeah, I was sick.
If I come down with this, all hell's going to break loose. Just
if a flu is the only thing I catch from Borja while he's here, I'm good.
Yeah, so I was sick. The concert was canceled, and then I had a soccer game that was canceled all the same week. So I don't know what's going on with me lately.
Yeah, it was a rough week. So anyway, so
But it's not the only famous one that is been around us lately, right? Because of this soccer player.
Oh yeah. So this is just a funny little story. I mean, it's funny because there's not really a good ending to it. It just sort of falls flat. So it's not the best story.
So
of all
let me
time.
preface this with Ryan's one of those type of dudes that if he sees someone that's famous, he wants to talk to him. Like
Yeah,
he
I feel
wants to.
compelled.
He'll stand in line to meet people after shows and stuff like that. Always gets autographs.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
always the guy that kind of sits back and like, I could use.
I think the technical term is starfucker.
Yeah.
But but anyway, I'm not really that bad. But
No,
you know,
he's not.
But
I'm just giving
there
shit.
there are interesting people like in my sort of sphere of influence, people that I do want to meet and stuff along the way. Like it was a big deal to get my selfie with Sir Mix-a-Lot shortly before
Dude, I gotta wipe my
told
ass,
me
bro.
he had to go wipe his ass. And but you know, in the man's defense, he's a rotund fellow, and he had just played a show. I'm sure it was a little sweaty in the back. So you know, in his defense. So I was I go to this place downtown Salt Lake to get my hair cut. A place called City Barbers, and I was sitting in there getting my hair did, and in comes this dude. His name's Albert Rusnak. He's I think he's from Poland or something, but he used to play in the Dutch soccer league, and now he plays for my beloved Real Salt Lake. And so I was stoked. I was really excited to see him. And I mean, I will say it. I'm just gonna say it. He's a damn handsome man. So I mean,
That sense of bromance.
it just needs to be known. People need to see this character, and you're going to know what I mean. And so anyway, so he pops into the shop, and he's trying to get some hair product and stuff. And for me, I was like, oh damn, I was like, oh, it's Albert Rusnak, and trying to play it cool because I don't want to be like total poser or any of that stuff,
I just put his picture on the big screen TV so Ryan can.
He's
really
a
get
handsome
off
guy,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Hey, it's distracting, man. It's distracting. Get rid of that thing. And so he comes in to buy the stuff, and so right immediately I start thinking, God, how am I going to talk to him? And I'll just tell him my kids are big fans, and then he won't think I'm some kind of weirdo. And so I'm sitting there, right, and I'm like getting all my thoughts together, and the guy that's cutting my hair is like, oh hey, goes over and talks to him and all this stuff. And Albert starts looking around at hair product and stuff, and this guy comes over, the guy cutting my hair. And part of their treatment is they take a rag and wrap it around your head. So right before I have a moment to say anything to Albert, he wraps this hot rag around my head and covers up my eyes with it, right? Then I can hear him, and he proceeds to go over and help Albert with his purchase, charge his card, all this stuff. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there in this chair right next to Albert Rusnak with a rag on my head, and I'm just hanging out there waiting. And I'm like, okay, well that's all right. He'll take it off, and I'll get a chance to say goodbye or something. And the dude, he's like, hey, see you, Albert, have a good one.
So what do you do? Just come in for some?
Came in, bought some hair products, split.
Okay.
He was wearing $1,000 shoes. That was pretty dope. But yeah, I literally didn't even get to say one word. I didn't get to fanboy for even a moment because as soon as Albert left, he removed my rag and finished my haircut. So it was just
So
perfect.
sad.
Yeah, it was
So
a really
sad.
sad moment. I mean, these RSL guys are running around all over. I mean, they're in Salt Lake all the time.
I need
but-
to find a sappy violin to put underneath
Yeah,
the
right.
story.
So, but anyway, it was a sad moment for me. So, Albert Rusnak, if you're out there listening, I like your shoes, I like your style, and next time I'll try to nerd out, in person,
Any
rather
luck-
than just bitching about it on the show later.
Yeah, he's welcome to come to the show.
Yeah, of course. There's always a warm chair.
I
here
don't
for
know. I don't like the guy.
you. No, you're just intimidated by him. You think he's handsome too. I can tell. I saw the way you were looking at it. So anyway, funny story though. But I love the shoes. What were the shoes?
Some Gucci or the
they're-
Spikes one.
Yeah, they're the spiky ones. The Louboutin.
Louboutin.
Yeah, they're these like little high top shoes or whatever, but they're all spiky and crazy looking. They're pretty
White
sweet.
leather.
Yeah,
don't
white
know.
leather. They're
Leather,
dope. But yeah,
leather.
they're like $1,200 shoes. They're dope.
Yeah,
So-
I would rather buy a $1,200 mixer.
Hey,
That's just how I am.
He's a baller, man.
Just saying.
So anyway, moving forward.
Okay. Well, how's the house hunting going? Any luck with that?
I don't even know if I want to go down this road just
Never
because.
mind.
No. I'm totally for it. It's just that I haven't shut up for the last hour.
Well, it's the
Yes.
the Ryan
Yeah,
show
this is
today.
turning into
No,
the Ryan
no.
show.
Yeah.
We're gonna, I don't know. We're gonna have to come up with a new name for this one.
Because
So-
I have to say that it was my first Halloween also.
Oh yeah. I forget how long it's been since Borja was on. There's so many
Yeah, come
firsts
on.
he's missed.
You have to bring me here more often,
I
guys.
don't know.
Yeah,
Really
so let's talk.
lovely show.
Let's talk a little bit about that. So now in Spain, Halloween is like a bar holiday. That's it. They don't really dress
Just go
up.
out
They
and
don't go
drink.
out. They don't go door to door or anything. It's
Do
just
you
something
go to the
bars
bar
do.
dressed as a?
Yeah, the only ones promoting this festivity, this Halloween thing, are bars and class because they really want
They want the business.
girls in particular dressed as
Yeah.
something sexy,
Yeah, who doesn't? And so I mean, it's the right choice, I think.
and guys with a mask or a fancy dress just to try
Well, see,
to
we actually
flirt
have
with
a-
some girls, you know.
We have rules at most of the venues I play at that they can't wear masks because they don't want to deal with the who is that guy under the mask.
Yeah.
They want to
Right.
see in the surveillance and all that stuff. They need to see the ID and see who it is. But other than that, yeah.
But how are you gonna talk to a girl if you don't have a mask in
Well-
Spain? I mean, in Spain.
Yeah, well, in Spain you might be able to get away with it. They play pretty fast and loose with the rules of the bars in Spain. So I'm not sure. But
in
anyway,
Spain, if they can see your face, they don't approach to you like,
yeah.
come on.
So like with Halloween, what were your expectations coming into your first Halloween? Did it live up to expectations? What did you like? What didn't you
Well,
like?
that was pretty cool. I have to admit that it was impressive. Like this door-to-door thing that the children do with the candy. Because I remember,
Yeah, it wouldn't work in Spain
the
because
begging.
it wouldn't
Yeah.
work in Spain because they would all just steal from each other.
Well,
But
so
yeah, in Spain we don't go door-to-door because nobody has nothing to.
I mean, what are you
give.
going to get? A little croqueta,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
a
I
little
mean,
piece of jamon.
They
and the next.
don't go to Costco the day before to buy
get
a
big
lot
old
of
bags of candy.
Yeah, to buy a lot of candy. No.
Well, in the neighborhood that we live in too is, I mean, these people. I mean, some of them give away toys, some of them give away full size candy bars, some of them give away. I mean, it's a whole thing.
We used to actually go to those neighborhoods specifically because we knew that we would get the better candy.
Yeah, these guys do that too. You can see there's a line of vans down at the bottom of the hill.
Just
people
drop our
dropping
kids
off
off.
their kids. Yeah.
So it was cool because I did this door-to-door thing with Lucas.
Yeah.
He was so excited.
Yeah.
I mean,
Our boys were dressed as aquabats. So anybody that doesn't know what an aquabat is, just Google it. But they're sort of a ska punk, rock, surf punk kind of band from California. But super fun. And so our boys, we went to an Aquabats concert, I don't know, a month or two ago. And the boys immediately decided that was what they were doing for Halloween. So both our boys were Aquabats. We had a Jimmy the Robot and the Fearless Leader guy, whatever his name is. And
So- I last year or the year before, when I was in Seattle, I lived in a neighborhood that actually got trick-or-treaters, and I'm not used to that because
Bat Commander.
I used to live out in the middle of nowhere and never had any traffic for Halloween. And so the last 2 or 3 years I was in Seattle, I was in this neighborhood where kids would actually trick-or-treat, and I always forgot to get candy because I never had to deal with it before. And so the last year I was there, since I didn't have any candy and I had to go to work, I literally put a bowl out on the front porch with a light on and left it empty because I didn't want to deal with trick-or-treaters knocking on the door and driving the dogs crazy. I just left an empty bowl on the porch.
Oh, how funny.
yeah. Actually, I also did I opened the door for a bunch of kids and they told me this, trick or treat. And I said, treat. Like, just because I had no idea what happened. Right? And they were so scared, what? And confused, what is this
Yeah,
guy
what are we
saying?
supposed to do? This guy really wants a trick?
This guy is crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're lucky they didn't
Yeah.
just kick you in the nuts and steal your iPod.
I'm just lucky they
But-
didn't toilet paper my house or something for leaving no candy out.
Right.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
happened?
But at least with the bowl out there, it looks like you got jacked.
Well,
by
that's the thing
somebody.
is I wanted it to look like some kid came by and just took all the candy. I
That's
made
one
the
way
effort.
to do it.
Yeah, Ryan told me, be careful, they're going to pull on the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. But and we also went to Lagoon to celebrate Halloween.
Oh yeah,
Spend
yeah.
some
So
time.
Lagoon out here in Salt Lake is a theme park, like a Six Flags or I don't know, other ones, Busch Gardens, that kind of thing. And, lots of rides, lots of stuff to do. And each year at Halloween, they do a thing called Frightmares. And, they set up all the spook alleys and all that kind of stuff. Actually, Clint came down and joined us. Our families both
Lots
went to
of
that.
fun.
And but this was really Borja's first kind of spook alley experience. I mean, I think you said you'd maybe done a little something in Spain before, but...
Yeah, I mean, just like in some, because we also have theme parks.
Yeah.
And they have some haunted houses there, but it's not the same. I mean, first of all, theme parks in Spain are kind of different. Here are so big, kind of, how you say, showy too, because they have in Spain we are what are you here for? You are here to feel sick, right? Really sick. So you want to spin, you're gonna spin. You have maybe you're gonna spin 500 times in the same ride. You have this cannibal, this how you call that, the rocket. So you have but basically they're for that, to get you sick, to make you feel dizzy.
Yeah.
But in Spain, we say, okay, we know you want this, so we're going to give you this, but
So
in a
it's
simple
pretty
way.
much cut to the chase. Get on.
We're
We're
give
gonna
you-
make you puke so
exactly.
you can go home.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And here you try to dress that up with a lot of things, like colors and different and loops. And now in Spain, we just go directly to the point. With the haunted houses, is more or less the same. They are smaller.
They have haunted houses in Spain?
Yeah,
Just
but
in the theme parks and
Just in
stuff.
the theme parks.
Yeah,
and-
they don't set up for Halloween or anything.
Yeah.
These are just permanent fixtures of the theme park.
Yeah, and there's this guy that is usually one of the workers of the haunted house is chasing you with a broom to hit you like a witch or something like that. It's not like this. This is like, wow.
Well, he's doing that because somebody didn't pay, so he's actually just chasing people out of the ride.
Yeah, here is super cool. They have actors inside, a lot of actors, a lot of stuff. And if you go with Ryan and Clint, it's even better because they hide inside and try to.
We're
Yeah,
just trying to
we spend
amplify
that
the
on-
experience.
Yeah,
The-
so in this this year, our nieces are getting older now, Clint's kids, and they're able to join us in the rides. And so we took them into the haunted house with us, and the most fun that Clint and I can have is scaring our oldest niece,
That has to be
and
fun.
getting her to jump around every other corner. But the same tricks work on Borja, so it's pretty fantastic because between the two of them, they're both screaming and bouncing off the walls, and it's pretty fantastic.
It's hard to be scared when you're laughing that hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, so it's a good time.
Yeah,
And
so the most spooky thing was Ryan
yeah.
and the prices of the souvenir shop as usual.
Yeah, I think it's just good advice. Anytime you can bring a Spaniard to a spook alley, it's a good experience. So feel free to do that.
Well, cool. Anything else? We're getting up on that time frame right now.
Yeah. I mean, really, that's all I had to say. I think we'll do a little something more with the weight loss challenge. We'll not start tomorrow on Thanksgiving. We'll start
call.
afterwards. And I
Yeah,
don't know.
I need to peak out. the higher I go, the more I can lose.
Yeah,
Right.
if I start with 20 pounds of excess weight, I can kind of lose
I
it
put
quicker.
on 2 or 3 more tomorrow.
I
That's
see.
It's a good
I'll
plan.
get off to a good start.
Bora, anything else? I mean, really, your factor has been the most remiss thing in the show. It's one of our favorite segments of the show, and we haven't been able to do
I've
it.
been talking during the whole show, not only my factor as usual.
Yeah.
So today I took advantage of this special show today for Thanksgiving to say my factor, but in different sections. I talk about Halloween,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving,
to
the gym.
take some time to give thanks for us allowing you to be on the show.
Now that we're in Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for this show and this team I have
Yeah.
in my podcast.
Well,
Nice.
and I just want to make kind of a appeal or an ask to the audience that we've been doing a lot of interviews lately. We've been meeting some really cool people. We've got some really fun stuff coming up. Let us know what you think. And,
I actually got some feedback the other day.
That's good.
It wasn't.
Oh, no.
I was told we cuss too much.
Oh, really?
And we should put a disclaimer in it.
Oh.
And it wasn't from my mom. If it was from my mom, I'd do it on purpose.
Well, I think I've sworn more in this show maybe than any show.
Well, we've been kind of loose on this show because we're not interviewing anyone, or it's more kind of casual.
This is really our pre-Thanksgiving jam.
I think maybe we should do the disclaimer thing just because, he was saying that he listens to the podcast as a business kind of thing. Like he likes that point of view. And I like it because we can kind of relax and just be ourselves and do our own thing. But I don't see why we shouldn't.
I think there could be a balance there, just a little truth in advertising, right?
Yeah.
If we get a little salty that show, maybe it's worth saying. I mean, obviously we've had shows like a couple of weeks ago with Adam Stoker, the CEO of Relic Agency.
Yeah, that was kind of. Should we go down that road?
I was just going to say that basically that was a clean show. He's a clean guy. It was his business we're representing, and so the show was handled in a clean way. And so you kind of know your audience, right? I mean, if we're talking to him, fine. We're working on locking in some hip hop producers and stuff like that, and I suspect when we talk to them, we don't have to be quite as PC. So, so maybe just by using the simple little explicit lyric thing or whatever, we can sort of denote if we got a little salty in that show, and
sure,
maybe that'll help this listener, with that kind of problem in the future.
Well, cool.
But yeah, so please send feedback. Let us know, good, bad, ugly, whatever. We want to know how we're doing, what you think, what you like, what you don't. And how we could improve. Basically this whole thing is about moving our egg from coop to table, and our egg is this show. So talk to us about how we can improve and what we can do better. Share the good word, and rate, like, subscribe, and tell your mom. Yep. So, and with that, everybody have a super Thanksgiving.
Thanks for being on the show, Clint.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Appreciate
Borja,
it.
Welcome back.
Gracias.
So and
one of these times we're going to have to actually get Clint on and talk about Restless.
Oh yeah.
Because that does need to happen.
Yeah, we've talked about it briefly on the show before, but yeah, Restless was a clothing company that I had back in the day, and Clint and I were partners in it. And we had a lot of good times. It'd be really fun to talk about that and go down memory lane a little bit.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll save that for another show. But with that, thanks again, and have an awesome week, great holiday, and we'll see you next week with Desi Valentine.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. You can check out me at djontic.com. That's ONTIC. And
all things Ryan and R2 Media Group at r2mg.com. And the show at eggscast.com and at eggsshow on Instagram and Twitter. Clint, Borja, anything else? Parting shots, plugs, anything?
Do you want to get boosts on your Facebook page, Clint?
No.
Do you want to plug your new Samsung watch?
I've got. No.
No? Don't want to give him any love? We could hashtag it.
We can hashtag Samsung Gear S3.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Samsung, hashtagged.
All right, well, peace. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Calling out to all area crew, we gon' make it all happen right here, right now. Calling out to all area crew, we gon' make it all happen right here, right now. I said, calling out to all area crew, we gon' make it all happen right here, right now.